The dreaded manager back in. Shit's going down, people. Welcome. The day after, the night before, and boy, has news been flying out today about Manchester United. And do you know something? Look, let's be honest. It was going to happen. We've talked about what we think has gone wrong with Manchester United so much last night, but now I think we're at a point where I think this has gone too far. I think when you have the dreaded managers back in by the board, when you have the news that I'm going to bring to you about Benfica apparently being representatives being at the game, it's the writing's on the wall. And look, we see this happen so many times with managers that when it starts to turn ugly, it normally ends ugly. It normally ends up in a bad situation. Now, I've got plenty to go through. I've got so many notes tonight. I've really looked into this. How is everyone? I hope everyone is well, and I hope everyone's buckled up, because this is going to be a conversation tonight that some of us are going to like, some of us are going to dislike, some of us are going to agree with, some of us are going to disagree with. But quickly before we do, I'll quickly run into the comments. Good to see you, Ben. Here's one for you, Dan. Back in brigade. Evening all. Hit those likes and subscribe. Ben, I think you may be too late, dude. I think you may be too late. Chappie, hope you're well, mate. Good. And yes, please remember to subscribe and like as well. Good evening, Wahaha, says Sacking Brigade. Good evening to Anthony. Hope you're well. So, news coming out today about Manchester United. And where do you start? I think we have to start with what I think was meant to be a true reflection, was meant to be a this is how I feel interview by Bruno Fernandes. And it wasn't really picked up on me last night because I'll be honest with you, I was too angry with the way that the result went. I was too angry with the result. I was too angry with the way that we played. I was too angry with this bloody 3-4-3. But what we did see last night was a captain that isn't a captain. Let's get that straight. And we will go into Amorim. Amorim's exit plan is well and truly there to be seen. But I want to go into what Bruno Fernandes did last night. And do you know something? Cowardice. Absolute cowardice. I didn't like what this man said at all. And I want to know what the ramifications are going to be on this player and what he has said, because we have seen Kobe Mainu pulled from the team. He played, 30 minutes yesterday, got some minutes. Other than that, this guy has not really been in the team. He was punished, I believe, for putting that post out during the international break. Now, what we had yesterday was Bruno Fernandes basically coming out and saying, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. That is exactly what he was saying. On the result, he said the result is very bad on us, but I think it's two ways of looking at this game. The goals could have been avoided. On the ball, we were very positive, very brave. We were playing forward. When we created chances, we could have been more clean. Yeah. Okay. On finding positives, he said, no, it's not hard. You have to look at what we did well, and it's not enough because you want to win football games. What we did today was not enough to get a result, and that's what we'll take from this game. Obviously, look at what we have to do better and look at the next game. Now, this is where it starts to get interesting, folks. Let me land on this. He addressed the tactical overloads and the setup. So he said, noting that the defensive line needs to be braver and push forward higher to close the gaps behind him in the pivot role. He stressed that the wide centre-backs were hesitant to press out, leaving too much space. Issue is not evident in prior games against Arsenal. And then do you know what he did? If you've watched the interview, please watch it back. And do you know what? I will credit Mark Goldbridge for a little bit here, because he is right. For Bruno Fernandes to come out and try and put the blame on the first goal on Lenny Yoro, I think is an absolute disgrace. The fact that we are listening to the captain of the club going, "Oh, what me? On me? No. What happened was Lenny stepped out. I was focused on Roderick. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I think when you look at a manager and a captain, they have to be together. They have to symbolise the future of the club. They have to symbolise the backbone. They have to it has to be everything. When you've got your captain coming out going for younger players, and yes, it was after the game, so I'll take that on board. It's not right. It's absolutely not right. And I think now what we're seeing here is the end of Ruben Amorim. We are. I can honestly sit here and say now he will not end the season, because Manchester United have Chelsea at the weekend. Are we honestly going to beat Chelsea? Is there a big performance in us now? We remember under Ten Hag, under Ollie, you would go week by week and go, he's going to get sacked this week. But then the players would bring it out and we'd somehow get a result against the team. And you'd go, okay, the players are playing for him. The players are playing. I got reports on that as well. I don't want to be in this situation, chap. I'm going to be honest with you. I would rather us go out there and look for a new manager than be in a situation where we're going, oh, we've got one result, they're playing for him, and then we have two like we witnessed yesterday, like we witnessed against Fulham, like we witnessed against Arsenal, like we witnessed against Grimsby. Sometimes in life, things don't work out. Sometimes they don't. When you have the manager coming out last night and saying what he said, which was, I ain't changing this formation. You can either sack me or back me. That was essentially what he was saying. In the words of Sam Smith, the writing's on the wall. It absolutely is. Now, other reports coming out today, and this is where I think Ruben Amorim, we've had the fact that Ineos apparently said they've got patience and they believe that he can do it and they're willing to give time for this formation. 11 months isn't enough time to give for this formation to work, obviously. But apparently, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been noted as saying he feels the squad is good enough to qualify for the Champions League. Now, I'm going to say that again. Sir Jim Ratcliffe thinks that this squad is good enough to qualify for the Champions League. Brother, this squad ain't good enough to qualify for the Europa League, the Conference League at the moment. You've got players there that can do it, but you don't have a formation that can do it. He has apparently said that Amorim's job security will be more seriously discussed if the side is not on course for European football as the season progresses. Can you honestly sit here and say that we are on course to get Europa League, to get the Conference League? Because we are not on course to get Champions League. Let's have that right now. In fact, look, we'll put it in the chat. We'll put it in the chat nice and early. Let's put it in there. Let us put it in there. I'll ask you: Is this squad good enough to get Champions League? Because this answer you're going to give, the percentage you're going to give, will pretty much tell me exactly what you need to hear, people. It will. Is this squad good enough to get Champions League, as Sir Jim so desperately thinks that we are? It's an absolute travesty here. Now, other bits coming in as well. This is from Ben Jacobs, by the way. So Ben Jacobs isn't one of the ones out there that goes in there and tries to get the clickbait. He isn't. I think Ben Jacobs has been brilliant. Senior figures at Manchester United feel enough progress is being made or potential shown to not start exploring other candidates. Ben Jacobs saying that. Now, yes, you can say if you're an Amorim inner that, yeah, okay, they're saying that they've not, there's not been enough time, there's not been enough results. But the fact that the key sentence here is Sir Jim Ratcliffe feels the squad is good enough to qualify for the Champions League this season, it tells me everything I need to know, and it should tell you everything you need to know. There is no chance. There is no chance. The writing is essentially on the wall for this manager, and I don't think this happens a lot quicker than anybody else thinks. Good evening, Kev. Good to see you, mate. Good evening. Bruno is an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace. That yesterday was an interview from a player who knows that the writing's on the wall and decided to kick a manager whilst he's down and try and put a fellow footballing colleague under the bus as well. Evening, Jamie. Good to see you. Warbzo, good to see you. Raja says, did not understand Ruben comment post game. What did he mean? I'll tell you what he meant, Raja. He meant he is not changing this formation. And if he's not changing this formation, then Sir Jim is not getting Champions League. If he is not changing this formation, Manchester United are not getting European football. If he does not change this formation, he will be out of the job. He will be out of the job. Ben says he's just getting started. Glazers couldn't care less, and Jim looking at the long-term project. Yeah, the long-term project at the moment, Ben, is another season where we finish 15th. It is. Yeah, Wolf is in here. He's right. It's good enough to qualify for the championship. Are you on a stream or what? Do you want to come on and have your say? Are you too busy on Fox News or wherever it is? Very busy man at the moment. Can we qualify for next year's FA Premier? Exactly. This is true. Like United should be focusing on staying in the fucking Prem at the moment. Of course you voted yes. And I should have, but I didn't. I came across a practice overview of Iriola earlier on, talking about the importance of being able to adapt and overcome in the league because it's nothing like our other leagues. I feel like I'm being gaslit. I said last night on this show, on our show, on our community, you beautiful people, I said to you last night, I used those words. I feel like I've been gaslit from the start. And Wolfie's in the chat. Wolfie will tell you himself. I was dancing. I was doing the dance. Yeah, we get Ruben Amorim. I was saying it with chest. Sometimes a dream becomes a nightmare. And this, unfortunately, is what's happened here. This, unfortunately, is what happened here. Now, of course, as you would expect, Chris Wheeler comes out and says the players are still struggling to get to grips with Amorim's style after 11 months after he took over. Bruno Fernandes is believed to be unhappy about operating in a deeper midfield role. United sources say it would be wrong to suggest that Amorim has lost the dressing room and his system still has support amongst the squad. So hang on a minute, right? This is where it makes me laugh. So some sources, the source is saying players are struggling, but then they're saying, but they're all right. They're all right. If the players are okay with it, then we have got a bigger problem than we anticipated. If the players are happy to go in a situation where we are literally schooled every game we are being schooled. We're schooled by Grimsby. We got problems. We got problems. Mate, you won't be on there much longer, Wolfie. Nice little, like what you did there, but you won't be on there for much longer, my guy. What else was said? So, and this is the important stuff now. This is where it gets really, really shaky. So, there were reports. I will get through your comments. Make sure you get your comments in. I will read them out. I just need to run through this first, please. Presidential candidates' interest. So, João Lopez, the front runner to replace Rui Costa as Benfica's president, has openly expressed hope of luring Amorim back. Now, he was at the Manchester derby yesterday. He was there. He attended it with Amorim's close friend and former teammate, Nuno Gomes. Nuno Gomes, was he the goalkeeper? I swear he was the goalkeeper. Was he the striker? No, Nuno Gomes was the striker. He used to wear the headband. I'm wrong. Let me know, chap. I think it was him. He wants him. Benfica have made no mistake of hiding this, that they want Ruben Amorim back. Now, this can either be a blessing in disguise, or Manchester United will stand firm and say, absolutely not, we back our manager. If we back our manager, we miss out on potentially doing something here. We do. I think the time has come. And I said to you all, I sat here and I said, I'm going to give until January. I said that. I did. I can't get away from all the news that's coming out today. And I'm 38. I've seen plenty of managers get sacked in my life in the Premier League. And there is always a way it goes. It always starts with the bad results. Then what comes out? The players turn. The players always turn. They'll have snidey little comments. We saw that with Bruno. Then you hear about other clubs would be interested in going in for these managers. We've seen that before. Then you see the backing, the infamous backing from the board. And once all this happens, it all mixes together and it turns into one thing, the sack. This is going to happen sooner or later. And unfortunately, some of you are going to be on board with it. Some of you are going to be against it. For me, I have to be honest with you. As much as I really want this manager to succeed, I really like Ruben Amorim. I love the passion, and I think given a bit of movement, if he was to just make the right decision and take us away from the 3-4-3, I think his morals, I think the way he feels about football would push us in the right direction. But he isn't going to do it. And if he isn't going to make the change in the formation, then I don't know what we're doing here. Because let's factor into this a couple of things. Okay, let's factor into it two big things. People are saying he hasn't got the players that he needs. Okay, hasn't got the players that he needs. We've got 31 points from 31 games from him. We've got how many months? 3.5 months until the January transfer, and that's if the board go out there and back him on a madness and bring in 2 midfielders, bring in a left wing back or a right wing back. They're not gonna do that, chat. So then you have to look back at where the club is at the moment. I genuinely feel like the board thought, "Do you know what? If we just get the firepower in, get the goals, we'll figure out the rest at the end of the season. We'll at least make it to the end of the season, probably around the European spaces, okay." But it's not working. It's not. The attack intent is there. You know, you can look at the XG. Oh, brilliant XG, and oh, we've had the most touches in this box. We've had the most touches on our left foot in the 27th yard. But that doesn't win your matches, folks. I tell you what wins your matches: goals. Goals win you matches. Put the ball in the back of the net. That will win the match. Score more times than the people playing. Yes, we know we've got frailties. Yes, we know the midfield isn't good enough, but it's just not working. And I'll say it, I said it a couple of weeks ago. For me, he already bugging himself up when he started with this false nine at the start of the season. Yeah, there was movement between them. And yeah, we were getting gassed and going, you know what? It isn't. No, it isn't working. It isn't working at all. And Sophie, you can say we want Amorim. I remember when I used to say that about Mike Ashley. So I hear it. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I've already gone through that one. In fact, let me have a quick look. Make sure you're voting, guys. I want to see where you are with this vote. I want to see where you are with the vote. 57% of you are saying that this squad is not good enough to get Champions League football. 3% of you say yes. So is the 43% of you saying yes with a different formation, or are you just trolling? The squad, here's where I stand. I think the squad could get Europa League. I think the squad could get Conference League with a change of formation. But there was so many articles I read today, and there was one that was so poignant to me, and I said, "This is how far Manchester United have dropped. This is how far we have dropped." And it was when managers were deemed unsuccessful at Manchester United if we didn't finish in the top four. Managers were deemed a failure for that. And now, what are we? Are we accepting that the third tier of European football is good enough for Manchester United? Are we sat here honestly saying that? I said it at the start of the season, didn't I? Oh, get me European football. Don't care how it looks. Gaslit. And it's just gotta stop. Not loving the season so far. You got Nuno's number handy. I don't want Nuno. Give me Marco Silva. If Wilcox, Murada, and Ineos and all the sporting people think this is progress, we are doomed more. And Warbzo, that's a great comment. Like if they're honestly coming out here saying that they think that this squad can get Champions League and they don't think that there's too much of an issue at the moment, somebody needs to slap them across the face and ask them. I mean, these guys go to every game. Like we watch, I watch it on telly. Of course I do. I do watch-alongs with you guys. They sit there at the stadium. They see everything. You're telling me that they can't see that this isn't working? Ben says after the Arsenal game, everyone was raving, saying how we played unlucky not to win. A few bad results since now it's Saturday night. But Ben, okay, there's two ways of looking at it. I always see two ways. I've got to get away from that. But there's a couple of ways of looking at it. Still two in it. There's a couple of ways of looking at that. Did we just play our hearts out? Did we just play our best game of the season to still lose 1-0? Or is it a case of we just need to get back to how that feeling was in that game? Ay. Honestly. I think Burn, Shaw, and Botman can't wait to play in a 3-4-3 under Amorim, honestly. Defo need to get a centre midfield in January, add another centre back as well. I think the team is good enough, but the manager and formation is shocking. Okay, well let me end that poll. 60% of you say that they are good. The squad is good enough to get Champions League. I want to redefine that a little bit. I want to redefine it a little. Is this squad, I'm going to put in capitals, under this manager good enough to get Champions League? I'll put UCL, so I can't be bothered to type it all out. Is this squad under this manager Good enough to get UEFA Champions League. Honestly, I'm so angry tonight. Why is Amorim being backed? Do they know something we don't, or are they too broke to pay him off? And look, there's so many different variations that you can answer that with, isn't there? Is it just blind faith that they're going, do you know what? It just has to work. We've spent 250 million on this manager. It has to work. We're just going to have to batten down the hatches and pray that this comes good. Is that what they're saying? Or are they saying, no, 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 no? We look, we know this guy's going to turn it around. It's either blind faith or blind stupidity at the moment. And look, again, I like Amorim. I do. Out of all the managers we've had over the previous years, he's one that I've really wanted it to work out for. But he's just done it to himself, unfortunately. He's done it to himself. We need to adapt tactic. If not, he will be gone. The board will surprise us and back you with a whole new midfield. Can't afford that. They can be Gallagher and Manu, man. Let him just, I know why you want that to happen. Some people not spotting the patterns before the others. Sophie says keep until January at least. Easy 3 points for us. Dear me. It's actually 31 for 32 games. It is actually, to be fair, Wolfie. It is. You're right. It is. You're completely right. Andy, good to see you. Evening, everybody. Bruno's press conference was absolutely disgusting. Get rid of him and Amorim. Here's the thing, and I want to go back onto that. With this now, with Bruno saying these words in a press conference, can I ask a question here? Will Amorim drop Bruno after these comments? Will Amorim drop a player who has basically gone against everything there, has thrown another player under the bus? Will he drop him against Chelsea? I think we all know the answer to that. Do you know? And I'll tell you what. I'll say this. I will say this now. If we lined up against Chelsea and he dropped Bruno, put Manu in there, I would sit there and go, hang on a second. Okay, hang on a second. Let me look at this. Now, when you look at the goals that we've conceded this season, a lot of them have come from Bruno not being a central midfielder. We've absolutely, seen that. God, honestly, you just want it to get better. You want it to get fucking better, but it's not going to get better. Long-term Sesko, it's not even there. If it's the audio, it's because I'm getting angry. I tell you what, let me switch the mics over. Is that better? That's probably better. Probably better for you. Honestly, it's probably because I'm getting so angry. And we won't take a risk on Pochettino. Squad can get Champions League, but can't beat Grimsby, says Anthony. And Sophie says, hey, at least I've been consistent. Amorim style and tactics do not work in the Premier League. Way too easy to figure out, very predictable. I've just switched it now, Wolfie. It should be a bit better, to be fair. Is it getting worse? What? Daz, is the mic getting worse or is the season getting worse? I'm going to need a bit of context there. He gets squeaky when he's too excited. Look, the fact of the matter is, whether we like this or whether we love this, it's becoming a horror show. It's becoming an absolute horror show. And we can sit here and we can get the banter from the rival fans. And look, to be fair to Wolfie here, I will absolutely go at Forest if they're absolutely hammered. With Sophie, I'd go at Newcastle if they were getting hammered. But I just don't know why this club can't seem to get it right. They've tried everything. They've spent money. They've saved money. They've brought experienced players in. They've brought young players in. They've brought experienced winning managers in. They've brought young up-and-coming managers in. Like, at this point, I'm going to go with what I said all along. I reckon Sir Alex Ferguson made a deal with the devil. And because of that, we have a curse on us, which means we will never win the Premier League again. But I will say this. And, Wolfie's old enough. Kev's definitely old enough. And Andy's definitely old enough. Steve-O, I reckon you might be old enough. When the news starts dropping about player unrest, about public backing from a board, when you are Manchester United manager, the writing is on the wall, because the only way you're going to turn this around as the manager is if you go on a hideous run and you get yourself into Champions League. We're not in a cup competition to take our mind off the league, by the way. People are playing Carabao Cup this week, Champions League, Europa League, Conference League. We're not in any of that to take our minds off the league. How many times did we used to say back in the day, we'd go, oh, well, we got Champions League. That'll take our mind off the league this week. We can get over it. We've got none of that. We have got none of that. So now it's a situation here where, unfortunately, Goldbridge just, Christ almighty, he's all in on Amorim, to be fair to him. And look, you got to respect it. I don't respect him calling us idiots for thinking he's not the right manager, but he's all in. He's all in. I don't see a way that this gets better, because public backing with managers is better when you're a mid-table. Well, we're a mid-table club. What am I talking about? But when you're like I can't even do that, can I? We are a mid-table club, for fuck's sake. But when you're a club that is expected, okay, the expectations are mid-table, right? And you have a start to the season where it's poor and you're near relegation zone. That vote of confidence, you normally get away with it if you go on a run and you get back up into 11th, 10th, 9th, and you go, okay, there we go, it worked. Publicly backing a Manchester United manager when the minority owner himself has said he thinks he's good enough to get Champions League, the writing is there. And if Manchester United lose against Chelsea, which, let's be honest, would you honestly bet against us losing at the moment? If they lose against Chelsea, this that's happened today, all of this news, all about Benfica wanting him, he's a Benfica fan at heart, all of this players coming out and not liking the formation, the Bruno talk, it will get heightened so much. It will go from 5 on the bloody gas stove to full bore 8. You can't put your hand near there because it's going to get burnt. It's going to get worse. It's going to get ugly. Now, a lot is going to be said about this, because I personally don't think he will. I don't think he'll make it till the international break at the moment. I'd be amazed if he does. If we get absolutely tonked at the weekend, there's no way. There is no way. And the sad thing about it is, as much as I don't back the manager, I will not sit here and say, God, I hope Chelsea beat us. I won't, because I want my club to do well. Any Manchester United fan that sits there and says, oh, I hope they hammer us just to get rid of him, that's ridiculous. That, for me, is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I want this club to do well. I want this manager to win things with us. But I just think too much has gone now. I think too much has happened. When the press starts releasing these things, and yes, we know the press loves talking about Manchester United. The press love talking about Manchester United more than rival fans like talking about Manchester United, because we're breadwinners to them, because our stories sell. Our stories make the most money. Our stories get the most clicks. Our stories are shared across the world. You got that bloody, what's it called? What's it called, Kev? The Free Eye Atlas. You got Free Eye Atlas heading towards us. Some think it's aliens. They probably know about us because of the press in England. We are worldwide. When this starts to happen, it's bad news. It always ends bad. Let me go through some of these comments. I do apologise, guys. I'm in a ranty mood tonight. Sick of the manager revolving door. Always a new system. Never works. Got to back a manager properly at some point. Yes, Anthony, I agree with that. But the manager has got to show willing. I'm all for backing a manager, Anthony. I backed Ollie. I backed Ten Hag. I was sat there. Wolfie, if he's still here, Sophie will definitely back me on this. I was sat there on Football's 12th man the first 2 games of the season saying, no. There's no one out there that we can get that's better than him at the moment. So no, I want Ten Hag to stay. I said that. I've backed managers, but when managers go down this road of saying, I ain't changing anything for shit. I ain't changing this formation. His own words. I keep the formation, or you sack me or you back me. When you've just come off the back of a 3-0 loss against Man City, your bitter rivals, and everybody is moaning about the formation, you don't come out and say that. Steve-O says, hi, Dan. I'm sure we've all watched football, loads of football over the years, but I've never heard so much talk about formations ever. Players used to be professional and just get on with it. They did, but Steve, I'm going to say this. Look, I'm going to say it. I don't care that you broke your elbow. I hope that's a brilliant YouTube video, by the way. That is a brilliant YouTube video. I'm going to say it. Is it a case of these players just can't get the formation? Like, if you bring a new guy to work and you teach him a way to do something and he can't do it and you're stuck with him, And what you do, you just make it so he can do his job. And I don't want to feel sound like I'm giving in to the players. I don't want to sound like I'm giving in to them. I really don't. But this formation isn't working. It's not. And yes, we can sit here and go, oh, the players have got what they want again, but the results will improve under a new formation. The results will improve. I got bloody pelted at work all day. I'm sick of it. Well, luckily enough for me, Daz, I'm the office manager. So if anyone would have said anything to me today, they'd have been gone. That's a joke, of course. I think he's got in 3 games if he doesn't improve, says Sophie. Let's have a look at the vote as well. I forgot about the vote. Let me have a look at the vote. If you haven't voted already, the question is this squad under this manager good enough to get UCL? 68% of you are saying no. 67 now. Someone said yes. 67% of you are saying that under this manager, this squad is not good enough to get Champions League. That again in itself, man. 69% now. Get your votes in. Well, Haha says, well, I was saying a month ago, Ineos had better be saying one thing while having interviews with potential replacements all the while. Honestly, I mean, I don't even know if we'd be doing that. That's the thing. Anthony says, glad we don't have more misery to watch. One a week is bad enough at the moment. You're so right. If Chelsea beats us, that says that's bottom third, to be fair, says Wahaha. I think Cole Palmer will definitely be in that squad. And I think Garnacho is going to have a big part to play in this game, by the way. You know how the footballing gods work. You know how they look at these situations. Garnacho is going to pop up with something in this game. He absolutely is. And Maresca, unless he's an absolute moron, would be a fool not to play him in this game, because you playing Garnacho in this game, one of 3 things. I've gone from 2. One of 3 things is going to happen. He's going to get an assist, he's going to score, or he's going to wind up the opposition that much that he gets absolutely clattered and a red card comes. So be fool not to play him. Garnacho will play in that game. Cole will definitely be starting. And I know, Kev, I hope on Saturday when we're sat watching this, I'm sat next to you celebrating a win, dude. I really do want them to win. And yeah, Sophie, like I said, to a point it is, but to the fans, I think the fans would win as well. Exactly, it's not good when the players outlast the manager, says Rajat. Yes, I know, I appreciate that, but under this manager, these players are going to be playing championship at this rate. Andy says, playing Bruno in midfield yesterday exposed us against City. Surely Amorim must see it. If not, he is gone. Can we poach Steve Bruce? Because I really, really like them, Daz. I really, really like them. The board knew exactly what we were getting, and they knew he would basically need a team to fit his system, so they get it. Or what's the point? I don't think the board expected it to be this bad, Anthony. I'm going to say that now. I don't think the board ever expected us to be in a situation that we are now. I think they saw a young up-and-coming manager. I think they saw that a lot of big teams were interested in this manager, and they thought, we've got a special guy here. We need to get him done. Why else would we have said to him, you either come now or don't come at all? We were absolutely terrified that this manager was going to go somewhere at the end of the season. We were terrified. That's the only way. I just think it was blind faith. Everything about the way you play is so predictable, easy to play against, and is the tactic, and that is the tactics more than the formation. I don't agree with that, though, Sophie. The formation, I mean, we hear this manager say that we're playing with a 3 at the back. It's 5. It's so blatant. It's 5. The culture has carried on, sure. Here over the decade, he outlasted 5 coaches. This will eventually head down the league in toxic dressing room again. This cycle will continue with the Glazers. I agree. Absolutely agree. If Amorim changes, he will personally think he's failed. Yes, Chappie, I agree. I agree. But at the same time, if he doesn't change, he will be sacked. So what would you rather do? Would you rather be sacked trying to do something you think would work, or would you rather forget what you were trying to implement but end up getting success with something else? I know what I'd rather. I know exactly what I'd rather. Tom says, we need to be realistic. We are shite. Yeah. Guardiola knew how Ruben would set United up and was playing counter-attacking football, and they were at home. And that's just Raja. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Comment of the night so far, Raja. Comment of the night. Because what did that show that Pep Guardiola could do? What did it show? It showed he was willing to change his philosophy, change the way that they play to beat Manchester United. Isn't that what great managers do? Change things up to get results. It's bad, man. We dead as a team. Our manager is clueless. The fact he's only got one game to worry about and still fails to prepare us is criminal. Ineos backed Ten Hag and sack it. They did. Ineos did back Ten Hag and sacked him not long. Let me see if I can get that up. It'd be good if we can share that. It'd be good if we can share that. Back Ten Hag. 3rd of October, they backed him, didn't they? 3rd of October, they backed him. 29th of October, they sacked him. That says everything, doesn't it? That says everything about where we are. And I think actually looking at it, I think there's news coming out that the players have officially turned. Yeah, the leaks have started. The leaks have started, guys. Figures within Manchester United believe Ruben Amorim's refusal to change and his stubbornness will get him sacked. One source said he's had one foot out the door this season and has made it clear today he will not change his system. United stars are unhappy with role in his system. It's all coming now. It's coming out now. It wouldn't. We know how this goes, chat. We know how this goes. If Amorim served you a plate of shit and you sent it back, he'd come back with a new plate of shit and tell you, I won't change it. Yeah, like eating it with other spoons. Wouldn't be at all upset at all if Cassie smashed into. Yeah, I want Casemiro to absolutely smash the shit out of him on Sunday. We have no idea how we will go in a different formation. Yeah, okay, Kev, you can say that. You can say that, but what we do know is that this formation, could we do any worse? Is what I'm getting at. Could we do any worse with this formation at the moment? Then changing this formation. I love that comment, by the way. My grandma had balls. Dan, if post Fergie, we were unable to fill the boots of Fergie, don't you think it's poison that some? Yes, it's just honestly, we're cursed. We're cursed. Look at his first season at Sporting, something like 13 first team players sold, but. Yeah, I get it. But how long did it take him to win something with Sporting? I'll go back. How long did it take for him to look like his formation was improving? How long did it take him to be qualifying for Champions League? How long did it take him to be beating teams consistently? Pretty sure Agate was one of them. I have to admit, Dan, I don't like the rigidity of the formation. I'd hate to be a wing back watching defence, midfield, and attacking at the same time. It'd kill me. I'm starting to think Barada is a spy from City and he's brought in Amorim to sink us. Yeah, he did. But then your comment says it all there, so to a point. To a point. Need to pack out the midfield. It's more important to have midfielders than centre back. Keep these comments coming, guys, because I really want to know what you are all thinking about this. Like the players, from what the reports are coming out now, the leaks have started. It has started. I think this is the end of Ruben Amorim. I think it will start. I do think it will start now. Andy says, question, do you think Mainu did enough to play against Chelsea? Yeah, I did. I thought Mainu was a bright spark when he come on. I thought Kobe Mainu, when he come on, was brilliant. I thought he was what we were missing in the midfield. He was quick with his feet. He was willing to take a player on. He got the ball out to players. Bruno isn't a deep lying playmaker. He isn't. We all know this. We said this at the start of the season. And I just wonder if Bruno is just absolutely furious that he's been moved into the central midfield. I'm not sticking up for him, by the way. If he's playing like a player who is that furious, he's been moved into a position he's unfamiliar with to watch two other lads come. Like, I think we all agreed that Bruno should have started as 10 on Sunday and we should have put Mainu in there. Wing backs need to be quality for this formation to have a chance. And what do we have? Dorgu, who can't pass. Ahmad, who can't defend and looks lost. Salah, who's just horrible most of the time. And let's not forget, Dorgu was an Amorim signing, by the way. Evening, Dan. You're still the only opposition stream I watch after, other than my own team, Forest Fan TV. Thank you, Rich. Great to see you, mate. Great to see you. Sell this club for the Saudis. Hallelujah. He has to earn time to keep going. Rajat, that is a great comment. He does. He needs to earn the time. Let me just have a look at where this vote is, by the way. 70% of you have said, is this squad, 70% of you have said no to the question, is this squad under this manager good enough to get Europa Champion? I can't even say UEFA Champions League. And that poll, honestly, the good news is we're in the FA Cup till at least January, so at least that's one cup we're into. We're in a cup next year. Christ. Wahaha says, like and sub if you're enjoying the show, it helps the channel out a lot, and it absolutely does. Rich says, as Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It is insanity. It is insanity. There we go. Straight in there. Bruno Fernandes is unhappy playing the deeper role in midfield. Let's take the anger away from Bruno a second. The fact that he said what he said last night. Let's take that away from him. Can you blame him? Can you blame him for being angry? Bruno at 31 years old would have known straight away in this formation there was no chance he was going to be able to do the job that was expected of him in that central midfield role. You have to put the blame on him for not accepting the Saudi bid. You would, but it's just a mess. Players, more and more leaks will come now. We've seen this before. We have seen this before. Sporting built the team he wanted, but obviously it's a much cheaper league to do so, and that's true. Paul, good to see you. He says, yeah, typical of the players, don't want to look at themselves. You put that shirt on, you run about, give everything for that badge, but prima donnas don't try half the time, Dan. They don't. They agree, Paul, but if you've had 11 months of being told by your manager to do something you don't want to do, do you think you're gonna do it to the best of your ability? If it's something that you point blank think, I can't do this. Like I can't. I don't know why he's asking me to do this. I physically can't do this. I can't play this format. Like, you know, if you were an office worker at the council, local council, and your manager said, right, for the next 11 months, I need you out there laying bricks for me. Yeah, but I've never done that before. Yeah, don't care. You're going to be going and doing that. You'd be shit at it. Yeah, you give it a go. I just think 11 months of this formation, he should have known at the end of last season this wasn't working. The worst thing that happened was we beat Villa, wasn't it, last game of the season? So I think he must have looked at it and gone, hang on a minute. Might be on something here. This club is poisoned by scouts, Darren Fletcher and co. They work behind the scenes making crap transfer reports. Moxie, good to see you, my man. Come in and give me a bit of a sense of calmness. Evening, people. Better late than never. Honestly, think we need to play Ugarte and Mainu and a 2. Is Cunha fit for Chelsea? I believe Cunha and Mount are back. I'm going to tell you this now, and I mean this. I will, and Kev, make sure you bring earplugs on Saturday because I will, and I'm going to swear, I will fucking scream if he drops Sesko on Saturday and goes back with the rotating front three. I will scream if he does that. If he does that, oh, Kev will have to strap me to the chair. He'll have to strap me to the chair. How many people say we don't support managers? Ollie got 441 over 2 years. Eric Ten Hag 411 over 2 years. Jose got 390 over 2 years. Yeah, well, I think it's one of them, isn't it? It is one of them. I mean, look, we all have our opinions, don't we? But and to go on that as well, I don't think I'd love him to, Moxie, but I don't think he will. Paul says, plus nothing wrong with the system against Arsenal. Everyone was saying it was a good game we played. Should have been 2 up at the time. So I don't blame the system. It's them players. And yeah, I don't. No, I don't agree. I don't agree. It worked because we played the game of our lives, I think is what happened. Played the game of our lives. I think that's what we did. We played the game of our lives. I just don't see it. I don't. The only way he brings it back for me with this system is if he stops this Bruno Fernandes torture of playing Bruno there and he changes that midfield. That's the only way. I mean, Tez, who comes on the show sometimes, says, Ahmad, why not play Ahmad on the fucking left? He's left-footed. if we haven't got the players to play in the formation, let's at least utilise the players that can play in this formation. Bruno is not a number 8. He's not a number 6. He's not a deep line playmaker. Change it up, man. If the leaks are coming out, the writing is on the wall. Shaw should never play again. Bruno is unhappy. Go. I saw Shaw got so much stick yesterday. I don't think he was even the worst. And actually, I think this is classic, isn't it? This is classic. Shaw got most of the stick from the commentators. I thought Bruno was pathetic yesterday. I thought Bruno was abysmal. I thought Ahmad was a joke. Dorgu was running, up and down, brilliant. I thought Luke Shaw people have agendas. And look, Luke Shaw quite possibly isn't good enough. Quite possibly isn't, but he was the one that got the most, and it just annoyed me. CR7 brought it up to Morgan. Somebody in that club is an arse. Let's face it. It's easy to blame the manager, but it must be someone else. Rajat says, why doesn't Bruno talk it out and say he doesn't like playing in midfield and maybe Ruben changed him back to 10? But the problem is Ruben can't play him back. Ruben Amorim is in a situation here where he can't move him back to 10. The only way he can move him back to 10 is by pushing Cunha into 9. If he moves Cunha into 9, then we've just spent 70 million on a striker that will just sit on the bench and come on for 20 minutes, 50 minutes. I think the manager clause, Palace, I think it's the manager cause Palace and Glasner get it right with the same formation. McKenna spotted at Manchester. I don't want McKenna. Gorov. Steve says, sounds to me, Dan, that these players want to choose themselves what formation they want to play themselves. Then okay. Let's turn it around. Let's say it's the players then. Let's say it's the players' fault. Let's say that there's nothing wrong with formation. Let's say that then. I'll ask you the question again. How long will it take us to get the players in for Ruben Amorim to get to where he needs to be? And more importantly, how far will Manchester United drop because of waiting for that? 23, and this is another one. 23% win rate is sackable by any respectable club. But for United, we should. It's just bull, isn't it? It worked because Arteta is similarly arrogant and stuck in his ways. Such a shame it hasn't worked. He says, there's no way you can drop Sesko for Chelsea. He held the ball up well, just got no real supply. Dorgu's final ball was atrocious on Sunday. Absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Rajat says, keep falling short is how to summarise this club. Do everything okay, but results don't come. Glasner plays the same formation and Palace run. This is the to and fro. We've seen other managers do it in this league. We've seen other managers do it with other clubs in this league. So who is it? We spent 200 million again and still put in, and this again. I mean, 200 million and we're still trying to fumble people into the squad. Ugarte and Mainu together gives McFred vibes. I'd rather Mainu and Casemiro. I think Ugarte did well. I thought, against City. But let's be honest, he did well in a shit game. So I was looking at it going best of the bad bunch. I would go Mainu and Casemiro as well. If the guy leaking the news was Garnacho and his brother, then who is out here leaking? It'll be the agents. Bruno, Dorgu, Diallo, and Buemo are all worse than Shaw. Yeah, Ten Hag. No, it wasn't. It was like 50. Was it 56% or 58% that Ten Hag had as win rate? Shaw and Maguire are going to be out at the end of the season. We need 2 centre backs. Need a specialist right wing back. All if Ruben is still here, and at least 3 more windows. Ben wants. Get 2 midfielders in January could make everything different. And caretaker to the end of the season. Who would you take? If it was a caretaker to the end of the season. Who could you employ as a caretaker for Manchester United? Because a caretaker, you have to be careful employing a Manchester United caretaker, boss, because they are going to want the job at the end of the season. They're going to. It would have to be an ex-player, wouldn't it? Get Rio Ferdinand in there. He knows everything there is to know about football. Big Sam, says Ben. Amorim will spend 350 still doesn't know his foot. Yeah, exactly. And there is this as well, by the way. Wolves right. Slot went in there with no signings, and they won the Premier League. Didn't inherit it. Yeah, he didn't inherit champions. But do you know what he did? He coached the players that he had. He coached them. So the question is, can Ruben Amorim coach these players? Is he good enough to coach these players? That's the question, isn't it? Giggsy, bloody hell. You should see my Sunday League record, Steve. You wouldn't be asking me then. Anyway, look, guys, here's the next bit I want to go through here. This is, let me just move that comment. These are our next 6 fixtures in the league. Five. I can't even count tonight. They are our next 5 fixtures in the league. You know I'm going to do a poll. You know I'm going to get a poll going. How many, this is honestly, this is terrifying. How many points from the next 5 games? We like this one. Right then, let me put this in for you. How many points in the next 5 games do Manchester United get? We'll go 0 to 2. We'll go 3 to 7. 7 to 12. And you know what? For the lols, we'll go 13 to 15 because I feel funny tonight. How many points from these fixtures in the next 5 games do Manchester United get? How many points? I'm excited to see what you're going to say here. I'm excited to see what you're going to say. Get your votes in. Let me have a sip. How many points from the next 5 games do Manchester United get? How many points? Let's focus on the fact. Let me smack my water right then. We've got Chelsea, Brentford away, Liverpool away, Brighton at home. Oh, these are damning. These are damning. Aye. Difficult game, says Gurav. Well, it's took Arteta how many years? Ruben had 1 window, got a top midfielder in January. You can't get all the players he needs in 1 window, Dan. He needs at least 3. Paul, I take it on board. How many points are we going to get in the next? How many points are we going to get in the next 5 games? And please let me know unless you've already commented. Paul, have you commented? I'm scrolling the wrong way. Paul, if you're still watching, how many points do we get in the next 5 games? How many points? Because this has a big basis on what I want to go through next. I want to get what the override feeling is here, and this will have a lot to say. At the moment, 42% of you are saying 3 to 7 points in the next 5 games. Okay. Paul, if you're still here, I want to know what points to make. Can you just comment it in the chat? I'm not coming for you. Don't worry. I'm not trying to call you out. I just want to know how many points you think, bud. A lot of you, I mean, Christ almighty, this is damning. So Moxie says 7 to 9. Gorev says 1. Daz says 5. Andy says 3. Warbzo says 3. I'll come to that in a minute, Paul. Ben says 10. 1 point draw against Brentford. Ben, you're saying 10. That would mean we're winning 3 and drawing 1. So I'm assuming the only loss you're saying is Liverpool away. Wahaha says 0. Either 2 wins and 2 draws or 3 wins and 2 defeats. 1 point, Gorev says. Looking at them fixtures, he's gone. We will be bottom 3. Ben says 1 to 2. Gorev says 1 to 2. Ben says, how many points in the next 5 games for each change your mind and back him? How many points for me to, and Paul, by the way, I'll come to that, says 7 to 12. Do you know something? I'll go with Paul. 7 to 12 points. But no. It's got to be 10 points. It's got to be what you said, Ben. It's got to be what you said. Did you say 10, Ben? Let me have a look. I can't find it, Ben. Did you say 10, bud? Yeah, Ben. So Ben said 10. 10 points it would take me to give the 10 points. Yeah, it would buy the manager time. Of course it would. Because 10 points, you're winning 3, drawing 1, and you're losing 1, aren't you? You'd out of those five fixtures, you'd say, yeah, okay, we expect to lose against Liverpool away. and then you'd absolutely take the point against Chelsea and beat the other 3. If we did that, then yeah, of course, you'd look at it, you go, okay, that's the biggest part of the storm gone. We can move forwards. But at the moment, I don't see it. I don't see it. The reason, again, this isn't fully on. By the way, this isn't fully on Amorim anymore. The reason I don't see it is because of the reports coming out. I think the players have already started to say no, and I think the fact that the board comes out and backs the fact that Benfica are there, I think the writing's on the wall with it. I hope I answered that okay enough for you there, Ben. If you need me to explain it more, mate, let me know. And Paul, 7-12. All right, Jasper. Cat's going mental here. 7-12 would be okay. Okay, that's fine. Does the ownership want Europe? If yes, how long can they keep watching this shite? That's the exact same week after week. Kev says he's predicting 15 from the next 6. Who do we have after Brighton? What do you know that you're not telling me? What do you know? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Man United fixtures. It's going to be someone like Wolves, isn't it? It won't be Wolves. Kevin never back against Wolves. Man United fixtures. Who have we got? Game 6. Who have we got? Game 6. Kev, can you put it in there quickly? Because I'm trying to find it. I know why you're saying it now, mate. Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest. Draw against Chelsea, fair enough. Brent. I was thinking David Brent there. You've charmed me. You got the job. Brent for Sunderland, Brighton, weakest 2 teams. Brighton, have you seen Brighton's record against Manchester United? It's strong. 50. You're saying 15 points? Wow. Okay. Oh, you're saying 15 points is what it would take to turn you around. Has Ben been drinking? Says Andy. I think we beat Sunderland and draw to Brentford, says Jamie. It's a really bad fixture, says Gurav. Draw versus Chelsea, lose versus Liverpool, win against the other 3. If he gets 15 and shows versatility, he can stay. I like that. Sunderland is a difficult game, by the way. Where is Sunderland? I think Sunderland are like 7th, aren't they? Hope it's more like getting 3 to 7 points next 5 games. Come on, mate. Realistic 1 or 2 points. Yeah, take care of yourself, Moxie. And as Moxie says, make sure you like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. That seems like there's a few newbies in there. Good to see you. And make sure you join the membership as well. I will put the link for that in a bit. Probs can get 3 points over the next 3 games. I mean, you'd want 4 out of the next. No, you'd want 5. Sorry, you'd want 9. Rajat. Z says, I want to beat Chelsea at home, but if Amorim breaks that record, Chelsea haven't beaten us there in 13. Imagine that Chelsea break the record under Amorim. That's another one. That's another L we have to take. But he won't change anything. We'll still be here saying the same things, and I agree. 11 points is same Z. 10 points. Do you really think Amorim can sort this out, says Andy? 10 points is what it would take, though, for me. If he gets 10 points, then, you know, by logic, he would have to, wouldn't he? He would have to, because the ownership would say, well, we lost against Liverpool, we drew against Chelsea, but we beat the other 3. We're climbing up the table. He would extend it. He would extend his stay here. 11 points. Loss versus Liverpool only. And yes, as Wahaka said, make sure you like and subscribe if you're enjoying the show. It helps the channel out a lot. And will Bruno be number 8 next games? If so, what happens? I'll tell you what, look, that's a great question. I've spoke about this, and I do want to bring this into it. By the way, 50% of you have gone with 3 to 7 points in the next 5 games. After what has been said, whilst I'm typing this out, after what Bruno come out and said yesterday, after what was said, after we tried to throw Lenny Yoro under the bus, Lenny Yoro, 19 years old, under the bus. Let me ask you this. Does Bruno start against Chelsea? Because here's the thing with me and Bruno. And here's the thing with me, Bruno, and Ruben. There isn't a thing. We're not meeting up. Don't worry. We're not like that. I'm married. I've got Mrs. Robinson downstairs. Huh? Bruno coming out and saying what he said. Let me get rid of these fixtures because they're making me feel physically sick. They're making me feel sick. After what he's come out and said about the manager and about the formation and about, of course, Lenny Yoro, I don't think he should start him. I think if that's any other player, Amorim would drop them. Do I think he will drop them? Do I think he'll drop Bruno? Absolutely not. I think I don't think he's got the balls to drop Bruno. Imagine if he dropped Bruno, Manu comes in, and we win against Chelsea. Oh my God, that is the biggest way for Ruben Amorim to get the press off his back. Imagine if Manu come in and we had a madness and we beat Chelsea 2 or 3-0. I'm not kidding. We wouldn't concede a goal. Imagine if he did that. That would be one surefire way of Ruben Amorim getting the shit off his back, wouldn't it? Because it would. Because ultimately we know what the press will do. It's Bruno. It's Bruno. So 75% of you already are saying that he will start the next game. 75% of you. Get your votes in. There's a few of you in here watching. Does Bruno start against Chelsea? Does Bruno Fernandes start against Chelsea? And also, make sure you smash the like. Where are we at with the likes, by the way? Where are we at with the likes? 28 likes. I want to see 30 likes, guys. Can you please hit the like button if you haven't done already? Let's see 30 likes. That would be phenomenal. That would be incredible. Thank you. Chelsea don't even look that good, by the way, but we are so bad that we will give them a win. Z, honestly, I feel it. I feel your pain, brother. I really do. If Cunha is fit, Bruno will still play in midfield, and that is where he will hurt himself. I tell you what, Kev and I did this, and I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to let you guys pick we are going to pick this together. We're going to pick the starting 11 together using the 3-4-2-1 or whatever it is he uses. Okay, we're going to do this together. Let's do this together. That's Football Manager. I do want football. I can't wait for Football Manager. Football squad selector. Right. We'll go through this position by position. We'll do it together. Let me just change the formation. Three, four, two. Yeah, 3-4-2-1. We'll go with. Okay, right then. So let me just share my screen a second, folks. Let me share a la screen. And as Kev said, to be fair, 6 teams and didn't get Bruno in one of them. Right then, I want you all to stop commenting a second, right? I mean, stop commenting a second. I'm going to bring up the squad builder. I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to bring it up. Right, you can see that. You can see that okay. In goal, who are we saying in goal? Because I think there's only one person in goal that can start against Chelsea. And for me, it's Lemmy. Who are we having in goal against Chelsea? Get your comments in the chat now. Who are we having in goal? Steve says Lemmy. Ben says Lemmy. If I'm getting an overriding vote here, I will go with the overriding vote. Anybody else? Who else would you have in goal? Lemmy. Everyone's saying Lemmy. The ace of saves. Right then, let's put him in. Right then. Okay, perfect. Great start. Right, stop commenting. Here we go. Right-sided centre-back. Who are you starting on right-sided centre-back? Who are you starting? We'll go with your comments and then I'll chime in. But I want to see who Koravs goes in with. It'll be being there. Who are we starting right-sided centre-back? Ben says Yoro. Jamie says Yoro. Steve says Yoro. Warbzo says Yoro. Wahaha says Yoro. Okay. Let's have a look. I'll have a look and see where everybody else is with this. Andy says Yoro. Paul says Yoro. Chap, everyone's saying Yoro. Right. Who are you going? Stop the comments. Who are you going? Centre-back. The middle of the three. Who are you going centre-back against Chelsea? Who are you going centre-back? Kev straight in there with DeLitt. Ben DeLitt. Steve DeLitt. Jamie DeLitt. Anybody else? Paul DeLitt. Wahaha DeLitt. Okay. Look, you speak. I listen. I would have gone Maguire. Because against Chelsea, aerial presence. I don't think DeLitt does enough. But look, that's what we do. And at least Gorav, good on you, mate. And Chappie went with me as well. Daz says Rio or Vidic. Left-sided centre-back then. This is going to be an interesting one. Who are you putting left-sided centre-back against Chelsea? Left-sided centre-back. Who are you putting there? Because I'm going to tell you what I think, and I think it'll shock you. Jamie says Maguire. Get your comments in. Shaw. Wahaha's going Shaw. Paul's going Heaven. Ben says Leach is not fit. I wish he was. Andy's saying Heaven. Kev's saying Heaven. Steve's saying Heaven. Chappie's saying Heaven. Do you know who I'm going with? And I will look. Heaven's the overriding one. This is a community. I will do that, but I'll show you who I'd have done first. I'd have gone Mazraoui there, and I'd have gone Yoro there. That would have been my back three. Before we put Heaven in there, what are your thoughts? Looking at that, what are your thoughts? Would you have gone Yoro and Mazraoui thinking about it? We're going to put Heaven in there. Look, overriding factor here. You guys have gone for Heaven. In that case, Yoro and Maz on the right side. Yeah, there we go. Ben saying Yoro as well. Yoro and Maz. I think people forgot about Mazraoui. Let me know, guys, in the chat. No need. Mazraoui right wing back says, okay. Wahaha wants him on right wing back. Fair enough. I was thinking Maz, he's very adaptable, says Steve. Let me know, guys. Let me know. Would you have put him there? Gaurav wants Shaw there. Gaurav still wants Shaw there. I'll change it back. I will change it back because, you know, we are a community. Chappie saying Maz. We'll go Heaven. Do you know what with that though, Kev? Do you know what the problem is with that? We haven't got the pace. That's why he has to stay there. That's why he has to stay there, mate. He has to be either one of the two. Heaven's got pace, to be fair. Okay, well, the next question, Jamie, you answered it for me. Who are you putting right wing back? Right wing back for Manchester United against Chelsea. Who are we putting? Excuse me, what? Right wing back, who are we going against Chelsea? Jamie says Maz. I think Wahaha said Maz. Warbzo says, honestly, I'd try Dorgu at left centre-back and put Ahmad as a left wing-back. Christ almighty. Mazraoui, Maz. So the overriding here is we're going Mazraoui. Okay, let's put him in there. I'm not going to succumb to you yet. I'm going to say left wing-back. Ben says Brian. We'd lose him up there, though, wouldn't we? Right then, left wing-back. We're saving the two midfielders just now. Who is going left wing-back? How does it feel to have had to subscribe to the channel to comment to say it, bud? Thank you, though, Brandon. I appreciate your comment, mate. yeah, okay, cool. Maz, not Jazz. Shaw says, Kev saying Shaw. Dog Shite saying Ben. Jamie saying Shaw. Dorgu. I'm gonna go with Kev on this because I said this a couple of days ago. I think a few of us have said it. I'm going Luke Shaw there. Leon does need a chance. But I don't think you can't throw a kid in at the moment with us struggling. Right then. Stop commenting a second. Stop the commenting. Here we go. This is going to be the bit that divides. On the right-sided midfielder, right-sided central midfielder, who are you putting against Chelsea? Right-sided centre mid. I don't know if you can see my mouse. So this one here, folks, right-sided central midfield. Who are you putting to start against Chelsea? Cassie. Mainu, Cassie. Casemiro. Let's go with Cassie. Okay, so the left-sided midfield. Okay, central midfield, left-sided. Who partners Casemiro in that midfield? Daz says Agate. Chappie says Mainu. Who are we saying? I can hear all your thumbs typing like demons. Mainu. People are going to think I'm glitching. Mainu. Andy, did you say... who did you say instead then? Are you putting Cassie and Mainu? Okay, well, look, I think the overrider is Mainu. Copy Mainu. Right then. Right attacking midfield. Right attacking midfield. I was doing that. I'm not glitching, I promise. Blowy, good to see you. Right attacking midfield. Who are you putting to start against Chelsea? Here we go. It's going to get interesting. So I'm going to have to be careful here. Brian. Okay. Wahaha says Ahmad. Paul says Brian. Who are you putting there, folks? Anybody else? Gurov says Ahmad. I mean, I'm going to go Brian. I think Brian starts there, to be fair. Briner? Who the fuck's Briner? Blowy says Ahmad. Left. Okay, let's stop. All right, stop. Corroborate and listen. We're trying to sort this fucking season. That's horrendous. Who do we put the left-sided? Who sits next to Brian Umbumo? Who sits next? Gurav, you're saying Ahmad, or are you still staying there? This is where I'd go Bruno, but you didn't put him as put Brian at right centre back, right wing back. Right then, so Cunha. I knew this was going to come. Cunha. Everyone's got Mount, says Wahaha. Wahaha, I don't disagree with that, by the way. If he's fit, I think Mount's done well there. I do. I back you on that one, bud. Cunha if fit. Bruno, says Gurav. Dunham. Okay, Cunha. If fit, Cunha's in there. And then up top, I think we can all agree who we want up top. It has to be one man, doesn't it? Benjamin Sheshko. Okay, can I download this? Let me download this image. Let me just unzoom out a little bit. This, folks, this is our starting 11 that we have just picked. This is our starting 11 as a community tonight that we have picked to start against Chelsea. This is our first 11, okay? One glaring change there. One glaring change, and that is that Bruno Fernandes... Let me see how many times Bruno was mentioned. Right, here we go. Bruno. One, if Mbeumo wasn't playing there. Two votes for Bruno Fernandes to start against Chelsea. Zirks will start striker, I think, but I want Sesko. Okay. Paul says good team, 2-1 win. Okay, then. Well, look, with that team up there, let's have a look at where the poll is at the moment. Does Bruno start? This is hilarious because 52% of you said Bruno starts against Chelsea. Let me end that poll. Okay, so with the team, I can't even frigging type. With the team that we have selected, can we beat Chelsea? So with the team that we have selected, can we beat Chelsea? Get those votes in. I won't play Bruno. I wouldn't play Bruno, but Amorim will. If the club has any morals, Bruno shouldn't play. Is Cunha fit? I think he will be fit. I think they were just resting him. Thinking Bruno will start and wanting Bruno to start are different things. Good comment. Great comment. It's a great comment. Depends on subs as well after 70 minutes, Dan. I like that comment. No, because of the formation, says Jamie. Straight away at the start, I can tell you the vote already is 62% of you have said that that team can beat Chelsea. 62% of the team that we have put on there can beat Chelsea. So then you ask yourselves the question, and let me just, I'm going to save this team. I'm going to save it because what I want to do, I want to break free. I'm going to save that. I want to, on Saturday when this game is on, I want to see how close we were to the team that we predicted. I want to see how close it was. 3-1 against Chelsea. Dan, question, how many times has Bruno played a team consecutively? Because he is always changing it. And it's a good question, Andy. And Gary Neville made a very, very good comment where he said the changes he makes initially in every game is the centre-backs. Are the centre-backs not fit enough to play this role? And again, if the centre-backs aren't fit enough to play this role, why didn't we buy any more in the summer? We all hope that Sesko will start, but Amorim will probably start Mount or Joshua. Like I said, if on Sunday he goes back to the front three of Brian, Cunha, and Mount, I think he's for the high jump. I really do. Didn't we pick De Ligt? Why is Maguire in there? He's not in there. Oh, he is. God, a minute. I was just trying to get my boy in there. Hang on. Let me make the change. Download the image. Share this tab instead. There you go. Delete. I apologize. Of course, I got that wrong. Jamie, don't say that. Goalkeeper Le Mans, centre-backs Maz, Dillit, Yoro, that's who I said. Right wing-back Brian, left wing-back Shaw, centre-mids Manu, Casemiro, Cunha, Bruno, and centre-forwards Sesko. Gorov says, should we play Slabby as a striker? Christ, imagine. Compare it on match day. I'm going to compare it. I will compare it. We did it the other night, to be fair, Andy, didn't we? We did it. We put it. I mean, if you're looking at the 4-2-3-1, I'm pretty sure the way we did it the other night was... I mean, you couldn't play that as a 4-2-3-1. You couldn't. You put Mazraoui there. I think we put... Was it Luke Shaw there? 2 seconds. Let me just do this. I'm pretty sure when we did it the other night that with a 4-2-3-1, we were looking at this as the team. Let me just download that image. So on the 4-2-3-1, this is what we were looking at the other night. That was the team we did the other night. 4-2-3-1, I'm pretty sure, yesterday. If Amorim picks a different team and we lose, we can say we would have won with this team long. Yeah, it does. If eggs on all of our faces. 4-0, Cole Palmer, Christ. Did we see, honestly, Steve, that image of Maguire, bless him, like the camera angle, right, was Haaland and Maguire. And Maguire, bless him, was just head down and he was sprinting. You could see he was like in the moment. And Haaland was just, I ain't got to get past this. It's fine. It's fine. If you remove, I don't. Well, who would you play left back? You wouldn't play him left back, would you? And stick Bruno behind Sesko. Well, that's what I've done there, technically, isn't it? But there we go, guys. We've picked teams tonight. We've spoken a lot. Actually, I didn't realise how long we've been on. The votes at the moment, 64% are saying with the team that we've selected, we could beat Chelsea. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm sure. One thing I'm going to say, absolutely, 100%. The news that has been breaking today, it is not finished yet. There is going to be so much more. There's going to be so much more to unpick this week. Apparently, Fabrizio Romano has said that we did consider the option of letting Ugarte go on loan. That surprises me. I'm just seeing if there's any more news. Telegraph are reporting what? Ruben Amorim retains the backing of the managers. I mean, do you know something? We didn't even speak about this. This is the worst start to a Premier League season for Manchester United in our entirety of playing in the league. We saw our worst finish ever in a Premier League era, and our worst start in a Premier League era. 2 common denominators there. I'll leave you with that, folks. I'll see you all tomorrow at 7:30. By the way, make sure you like and subscribe on the way out. You have all been absolute superstars tonight. Thank you very much for the comments, getting involved. I love each and every one of you, and I will see you tomorrow at 7:30. Backing Brigade, Brian Brigade, Dan United, Uta!